Statistics Modeling and Finance, Chapter 1, Statistics, page 20. Total sales column chart. Total sales column chart. Total sales. Now that we have gathered all that data, what else could we do with it? Let's get away from concentrating on the individual efforts of each appraiser and see how the office did as a whole over the first half of the year. First, let's plot the data on some graphs using the total appraisals done each month. Column chart. This is very straightforward and depicts the variations month to month in total numbers of appraisals completed by the entire office. Total appraisals. On the left side is appraisals by month, and it goes from 0 up to 140. January, they did 100 appraisals. February, they did 90. March, they did 125. April, they did 88. May, they did 83. June, they did 102. You can see a pretty consistent pattern ranging from about 80 to 120 appraisals per month. You might want to try to figure out why February and May had lower totals and why March was so good. June seems to be coming back stronger. We won't do anything here, but it certainly would be instructive for the office manager or owner to compare these 6 months with the first 6 months of the previous 3 or 4 years. It is always slower in February. Is there some sort of seasonal or cyclical pattern? You could also analyze the total number of appraisals done for the 6 months, which was 600, with the first 6 months of previous years, or any other 6-month period. End of page. Page 21. Cylinder, line, and area charts. Cylinder chart. This is a lot like the column chart that we started with. It is a little jazzier with a 3D effect. I also changed the color of the cylinders. I like red. Total appraisals from 0 to 140. In January, they did 102. In February, they did 90. In March, they did 125. In April, they did 100. In May, they did 86. And in June, they did 103. Let's look at a line chart again on the next page. Line chart. This is quite clear and right to the point. It's easy to spot trends from month to month. Total appraisals from 0 to 140. January, they did 101. February, they did 90. March, they did 122. April, they did 98. May, they did 84. And in June, they did 101. Area chart. This shows basically the same thing, but is a different type of presentation. Is it any better? Appraisals by month. From 0 to 140. January, they did 101. February, they did like 83. March, they did 122. April, they did 98. May, they did 90. And in June, they did 102. End of page. Page 22. Data set 2. With the first data set, we experimented with different ways of displaying the data. Let's take an even simpler data set Now, to illustrate a few more kinds of graphs that make sense. Here is data on all the new condos built in your county in the last year. Number of bedrooms, over percent. Number of bedrooms fewer than 2, percent, 11%. 2 bedrooms, 57%. 3 bedrooms, 29%. And 4 bedrooms, 3%. Let's see how that looks in several different graphic formats. Column chart. Here is the good old column chart again. It makes a pretty dramatic presentation. Suppose you were trying to justify making an adjustment for a 1-bedroom condo versus a 2-bedroom condo. You could run off a sentence that mentioned 11% of the market versus 57%. But I think this simple chart makes a greater impact. It shows percentages of condos from 0% to 60%. Number of bedrooms along the bottom. 1 bedroom, 11%. 2 bedrooms, 57%. 3 bedrooms, 29%. And 4 bedrooms, 3%. And a page. Page 23, pie chart. Because of the small number of observations, the classic pie chart works well too. It shows 57% was 2 bedrooms. It shows 11% was 1 bedrooms. It shows 3% for 4 bedrooms and 29% for 1 bedrooms. Donut chart. Here's another type of chart that could be utilized with a small data set. For 2 bedrooms, it was 57%. For 3 bedrooms, it was 29%. For 4 bedrooms, it was 3%. And for 1 bedrooms, it was 11%. End of page.